Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, sir. And I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And that life is treating you most deliciously. Okay, so what's the time, Mr. Wolf? Okay, so it's nearly 1:30 in our old afternoon, my delicious little babies in our old England. And once again, it's a very grey sky. It's a little bit warmer actually today, okay, but and there's no rain. Okay, but generally the weather's okay, my delicious babies, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, that life is treating you most deliciously, and that you have got delicious weather wherever you are. Now then, my delicious babies, so I've got a bit of a mixture of different videos today, my delicious babies, and so what do I do? First of all, oh, see if my little lights will work. 3, 2, 1, my juice little lights. There we go. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they, my delicious babies? Now then, sorry, excuse me. Now, right now then, what do we got today? Right, okay, so this is for anybody who happens to have mould in their homes, my delicious babies. Well, I have been experiencing this myself, okay, my delicious babies, and it can be rather off-putting to look at, okay, my delicious babies. Well, anyway, there's a $3 trick, okay, my delicious babies, and this is under all these videos are on YouTube, my delicious babies. So and of course ones of very sadly put up with flipping mould for flipping decades, my delicious babies can. And of course, you know, there's always you know some product that comes out, my delicious babies, which of course is about as much use as a chocolate teapot or an ashtray on a motorbike, my delicious babies, which is absolutely none at all. Okay, my delicious babies. So this uploader, capital F, forbidden, space, capital C, camping. Okay, my delicious babies, that's the uploader. They happen to have 65.3 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. And with anybody not in that way, not in that way. And the video should read, I'm just trying to remember now how many minutes long this is. I think it's over 9 minutes long, my delicious little babies, this one. It's either over 8 minutes long or over 9 minutes long. I know it's one of the my delicious babies. So you should read, this $3 mix kills mold forever. Why is it banned in most cleaning products? Okay, my delicious babies, I'm just going to repeat this again for you. This $3 mix kills mold forever. Why is it banned in most cleaning products? Okay, my delicious babies, okay? Yeah. So, see, for myself, if you need to get grease off, what I generally do, especially with work surfaces, is I squeeze lemon. So I'd cut a lemon in half, I squeeze that, and then I will add a little bit of bicarbonate of soda. Okay, my delicious babies, and there we are. It usually does the trick. Okay, my delicious babies can. Of course, if you got more stubborn, stains, okay, well, it will just take a longer, as I call it, elbow work, my delicious babies. You understand what I mean, okay? Who was really good with all these cleaning hacks? Oh, bless her. She's no longer here. My delicious babies, bless her dear little soul. Not in that way, not in that way. Kim Woodburn. Now, for most of you, my delicious babies, I'm pretty sure that you've heard of Kim Woodburn. Okay, my delicious babies. Oh, bless her. I personally thought she was really lovely, to ever watch her or to listen, especially when it came to cleaning things and everything. And I personally thought she was excellent at all of that. Oh, I hope you're resting in peace, dear Kim. You know what I mean? But she was really good at anything like this. And she first started out on the television. It's like a cleaning program. There was herself and her friend, and they were doing a cleaning program. I came out to the babies, but it was all natural. Do you know what I mean? Okay. in order to keep the home clean and tidy, mad little babies. Well, anyway, oh, bless her. Anyway, she'll be looking from where she is. And, she'll be just thinking, the world has gone bonkers, crackers and crazy, mad little babies. Anyway, bless her, mind you, she already knew that anyway, didn't you, Kim? Bless her. Okay. Anyway, but I personally, enjoyed listening to our dear little Kim. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, mad little babies. So, yeah. So this is all to do with white vinegar and what's it, baking soda, you know what I mean, mad little babies kind. Well worth a little listen. I looked at a couple of comments. I never actually clicked on it. It's what comes up on the comments. And, if anybody who's interested, please take a look at some of the little comments, you know what I mean? It will give you some, there we are, pointers, in the right direction, mad little babies. I always like to, for myself, mix my videos, there we are, up a bit. Do you understand what I mean, okay? Because right now, what's dominating the internet is the Epstein and also Iran. Okay, mad little babies, so they seem to be dominating right now. Okay, mad little babies. And, so it's nice for myself to be able to give out, there we are, a different, like a variety, in other words, different selection of videos. Do you know what I mean, mad little babies? Because we have to live, there we are, in the real world, whatever that's meant to be, mad little babies anyway. We can only but try, can't we? Mad little babies anyway. So, yeah, but I did watch a video and I forgot flipping where it was now and I forgot what it's called. This is what I mean. I look at that many mad little babies. But what this is talking about was it monks? I'm trying to remember if it was monks. And they used to do barrels. Going back many decades ago, mad little babies, and they used to do barrels of vinegar. And I tell you what, it was like liquid gold. Do you know what I mean, mad little babies? Now, at the top of the vinegar, it was what was called the mother of the vinegar. Okay, mad little babies. And what we found out here is that, put it this way, and the little lackeys have taken something out, there we are, of the natural, there we are, vinegar. Okay, mad little babies. So where vinegar could be used for all sorts of things now, everything from medicine to cleaning to everything. Okay, that's why I said it was classed as liquid gold. Okay, well, I removed that part because with the mother part, which was the part that floated on top of these barrels of vinegar, you would look after that like liquid gold. There we are. You know what I mean, mad little babies, okay? So it's very, very special, this, the mother, okay, of all vinegars. Okay, mad little babies. And of course, they had to effing tamper with that as well, didn't they, mad little babies, you know what I mean? Anyway, there's no surprise, you know what I mean, mad little babies. Anyway, so it's always good to know these things, okay? And I should be, there we are, using it myself, okay? Mad little babies, not to worry, okay? And of course, I'm never going to advertise something that I wouldn't not do myself, okay? Mad little babies. Now then, the next one. So, where am I? Right, okay, yeah, this one's over 12 minutes long now, delicious little babies. This uploader happens to have 81.7 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies, and this one is called, I've never seen this one before, okay? I've seen the other one, but I haven't seen this one. Capital L, Loyal, space, capital M, Moses. Okay, my delicious little babies, that's the uploader, okay? And of course, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest in this video, okay, my little baby. So, this video should read, your phone is now required to spy on you. It's the law. Yes, my little babies, I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? Your phone is now required to spy on you. It's the law. Okay, my little babies. Now, this is to do with Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place. The Eagles, wasn't it, Martin Babies? Anyway, let's get back to the matter in hand. Well, it seems that in California, I'm not talking to any of our delicious babies out there who already are aware of this. I'm talking to our delicious babies who are not aware of this. Well, it turns out that California have pushed, sorry, let's rewind and start again, have passed some sort of law, that, your dog and bone's required to spy on yourself. Now, when I clicked on the more part, my delicious babies, this, your man there, the uploader, not in that way, not in that way, he, what did he do? He was a professional hacker for 20 years, my delicious little babies, 20 years. Okay, it's just an interesting little video to listen to. And the reason why I say this is because, I mean, even if I could talk to anybody these days, my delicious little babies. And the one thing that everybody knows is that the dog and burn, there we are, has been spying on them. Everybody knows this. I could stop in the street, in the road, talk to anybody, and they'd all say the same. Say, yes, we know, Carla. You see what I mean? Okay, my delicious babies. So ones are aware of this. But what your man here is saying, because it's all doom, doom, dong, dong, common sense, so that's not being sarcastic to you, my delicious babies. Well, the fact of the matter is, none of us have consented to this, and certainly not in California. They have not. So he stumbled again, not changing my video, rightfully so, stumbled. You say, okay, my delicious babies. This is what I mean. They go doing all these things now, okay, my delicious babies, and well, they fail to inform their populations, my delicious babies. Do you see what I'm saying? This is how far there we are. Everything has come now. Okay, my delicious babies. I heard the other day, so please do not quote me, but I did hear if they passed that bill now. That doesn't mean no, my delicious babies. For we don't like this word. We seem to hear about it, my delicious babies. The dying bill in our old England, my delicious little babies. Okay, well, why is it so they keep getting away with all this? I was going to swear then, my delicious little babies. Okay, sometimes I do swear on my video. Me personally, I do not see swearing as being taboo. Okay, my delicious little babies. I know that some on different channels, you will get some who will religiously not swear, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? Okay, well, I'm not one of them. So every now and again, well, sometimes more so than every now and again, my delicious little babies, I will swear. Okay, because life itself, there we are, makes one swear. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? And if you really look at it, I mean, for most households, I mean, let's just face it. I mean, behind closed doors, there's an awful lot of swearing. There we are, my delicious little babies, do you know what I mean? So it shouldn't be classed as taboo. But if you get peed off, you get peed off, don't you? You're better off just saying it, aren't you? But I'm not angry enough today. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? I do have my moments, so you know what I mean, my delicious babies, I really do. Anyway, so that's that one. So it's certainly worth a listen to anybody who's not maybe familiar with all this. And what you also have to remember is as well is that anything that's in the barn in the USA seems to run parallel with our old England, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Just like the maid in Canada, my delicious babies can. Well, of course, then they brought over the dying bill over here. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Very sadly, we're going to see, there we are, once again, how this unfolds. Aren't we, my delicious babies, okay? Because as we very well know, give her certain powers, shall we say, okay? Well, take an inch, they'll take an effing mile. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? So very sadly, I hope not, but very sadly, we may be seeing rather similar. There we are to Made in Canada. Okay, my delicious little babes, I'm just hoping that ones are not going to be fooled. I do not like that word, but sometimes we have to use it, my delicious little babies, that ones do not get fooled into believing this bullshit. It's just another word for a murder, okay? Murderers, that's what they are, my delicious little babies. Now then, another video that I want to advertise, and it is, what's it called? LSB Productions. I've advertised them, my delicious little babies. I think he's up to 33.1 thousand now on YouTube. LSB Space Productions, I'm pretty sure. I've just seen not so long ago now, I think about 20 minutes ago, this is just over a 5-minute video where somebody, I think it was in London, in our old England, and he was speaking to, you'll know who he is. He's a journalist, Martin Space, and he was speaking out into the street, for ones to, stop and listen. And then their old Bill came up to him, removed his banners and everything, and they searched him, so he had his arms out and they searched him. Well, I agree with the uploader, not in that way. I agree with the uploader that I mean, this is well, basically just words to effect, not his exact words, but this is the madness that we're dealing with in our old England, my delicious little babies. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, and part of it was to do with the mental health. Well, anyway, what's wrong with talking about that? We've got a lot of mental health that we are going on, my delicious little babies, not only in our country, in our old England, but in the world, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Because, you see, when you've got everything coming at you, there we are, from all different flipping directions, my delicious little babies, just a figure of speech. Well, for some, they cannot take it. They cannot cope with this. Do you understand what I mean, my delicious little babies? Okay, so anyway, but yeah, be interesting for you to take a little look at that video as well, my delicious little babies. Anyway, I've advertised him long time anyway, bless. Next one, my delicious little babies. Sorry, please, and thank you. Oh, yes, okay. No, because there's 2 more I've got here, okay? This one here, my delicious little babies, this uploader happens to have 12,000 subscribers, okay, my delicious little babies, and it's called, I've never seen it before, capital T, truck, space, capital G, guard. Truck, space, guard. That's the uploader, my delicious little babies. This video, I think this one is the one that's over 8 minutes long, just over 8 minutes long. And it should read, why smart drivers are buying 20-year-old cars. Then in brackets, the pre-screen loophole. Okay, my delicious little baby, so I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Why smart drivers are buying 20-year-old cars, in brackets, the pre-screen loophole. Yes, my delicious little babies. Now, what ones will also find on YouTube, what's going on at the moment, my delicious little babies, okay, is more and more. So I'm really pleased to hear this, my delicious little babies, okay. I'm really super duper pleased to hear this, okay. Just going over factory. The word factory and the dots there. Okay, my delicious little babies. And anyway, well, the fact of the matter is that, on the internet right now, there are so many now who are going for older cars. Okay, my delicious little babies. It seems to be the 20-year one. Okay, my delicious little babies. Anyway, there's plenty of videos that we are on this. Okay, for ones to take a look at. My delicious little babies, yes. Okay, please and thank you. Anyway, very interesting to listen to. I was actually talking when I was out with a beautiful, delicious little Ruby Tuesday, because a beautiful, delicious little Maisie Moo can walk herself, although sometimes she walks with us. And I happened to be talking to they're a lovely dear couple over the back of myself, and I happened to be, they're one of my neighbours over the back. And we happened to be talking about these new cars, my delicious little babies, and my neighbours, the the husband was saying to myself, because I said I do not agree with this, like where you have the handbrake. Yes, mad delicious babies, I mentioned this before, and now, these newer cars, you got a button. Well, no, I don't trust anything like that. And we were talking about this just this morning, and he too said, yes, Carla, you're right. He doesn't like it either. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so it seems myself, and something else that's on the internet, there we are, marvelous little babies, okay? Mechanics are begging ones not to buy, these 2026 cars, marvelous little babies, do you know what I mean? Well, you see, I've been done saying this long time, okay, marvelous little babies, give me an older car, there we are, any day of the week. Okay, those beautiful cars, you know what I mean, that many say, oh, but I just want one, where you've got all this super duper heating, all this electric, that shart, you know what I mean, Martin, babies, okay? Again, this is what I feel, for most, so I do not mean this in the wrong way, but they are sold that these new cars are super duper delicious and wonderful when they're actually not. And they're certainly not good for mechanics, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? They're not good for that at all. If you go back decades ago, and it's absolutely banging correct, you could go into a scrapyard, there we are, if you needed a part, could be anything, could be a wing mirror, could be anything, my delicious little babies, and you could just go and pick one up, if you had the time or got somebody to, to spray it, and, so it would match up to the colour of your car or something, just as an example. Well, you could go and do that. But with these brand new cars, you're not having that option to do that. They're a pain in the effing ass, man, from what I've been hearing. Okay, my delicious little babies, said, like I said, get me an older car. There we are, any day of the week. I know that sometimes ones can say, well, you're throwing good money for bad. Do you understand what I mean? We hear this, but what's the point I'm making? These newer cars, okay, my delicious little babies, especially those Lego effing electric cars, okay, they're not worth the paper, there we are, that they're written on. Do you know what I mean, my delicious little babies? And especially if they've been damn well blow up. And I've seen a lot of that when I was advertising BitChute long time. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So, but it's amazing, isn't it? There we are, how more and more now are going back to the old way. There we are. Well, this can only be a good thing, my delicious babies. Of course, you are going to get some, because some mothers do have them. They refuse to move from their position. They will swear by these Lego electric pieces of junk shit. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? And they swear by this shit. You know what I mean? You cannot talk to them. Do you know what I mean? But these are the same ones who do not do any research whatsoever. Do you see what I'm saying? Which leads me to saying I haven't mentioned him for quite a while, actually, bless him. Not in that way, not in that way. On old YouTube, my delicious babies, I'm not sure how many uploads, subscribers, he's got now. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he's probably got a fair few now, bless him. Jeff buys cars with a G, not a J. Jeff buys cars, so it's Geoff, his name, Jeff buys cars, sorry. Okay, my delicious little baby's on an old YouTube again. I haven't advertised him for a long time, actually, but something's just, just to advertise him again. Okay, my delicious little baby. So, it's all about, again, we get back to it again, don't we, my delicious little babies? There we are. It's all about education. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? If you look at cars decades ago, the doors used to be heavier. Everything used to be heavier. Okay, my delicious little babies, but it's not like that now. Okay, so I couldn't give a damn if I had a million ching, ching, ching squids tomorrow. No. I'd go and look more for, if I, was to do that, I would more or less look for like a classic car, something like that now then. Do you know what I mean? Maatlichtig babies, not, I'd probably get a car which will get me to the tip and back. Do you know what I mean? Maatlichtig babies, just put a little sheet down, you know what I mean? And if I needed to go to the tip, do that. But then I'd probably have another little car, it's just a little classic one. Do you know what I mean? That I could just go, riding about on. Do you know what I mean? Driving about, riding about. You know what I mean? Man's just about it's a guy. So, well, no, in reality, just the one car. Do you know what I mean? Martin Babies. But of course, as we very well know, they're trying to stop everybody there we are from driving cars. Maatlichtig babies, they do not want anybody driving cars. Okay, Maatlichtig babies. So anyway, so that's that. But yeah, it's really good to see. I'm really pleased. There we are. Fan Dabby Dursey, super duper deliciously happy that ones are now understanding, for some, that these new cars are not what they're cracked up to be. Certainly not driverless. And that's what I was talking to my dear neighbour over the back about, Matt, not in that way, Matt, delicious little babies. We were talking about these driverless cars as well, yeah. Do you see, we have the same noddle set. Do you see what I mean? Just don't trust them. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, okay. Anyway, just get the good old-fashioned cars any day of the week. Okay, Mads, little babies, I've said before and I repeat again, I would not trust any car that's driverless. Not a effing chance, man. Not a chance. Okay, Mads, little babies, I totally value my life far more than getting into one of those pieces of shitty junk. You know what I mean? There we are, Mads, little babies, you know what I mean? Anyway, so the final video that I've got for today, Mads, little babies. Now then, this is another interesting one that I'd like once again, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest in Mads, little babies. Now, for some who are really into this and they read up and everything, I'm not talking to you, Mads, little babies, okay? I'm talking to Mads, little babies who are not aware of this, okay? I think, I feel this video, was it about 5 days ago or something like that, Mads, little babies, anyway? This uploader happens to have 3.13 thousand subscribers, my delicious little babies. I'm wondering if I've ever advertised these before. Anyway, capital B, this is the uploader, my delicious little babies, built, then a space, capital T, 2, and then a space, capital F, fail. So you should read built to fail in spaces. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, the video should read, why your smart home will be, we don't like this word, we seem to hear a lot of it, dead in 3 years. Okay, my delicious little babies, so I'm just going to repeat this again for you. Why your smart home will be dead in 3 years. Okay, my delicious babies, so now I'm going to close my book. Okay, that's all the videos for today. So there's a good old mixture here today, okay, my delicious little babies. Now then, what is it that I want to say? So let's go backwards, okay? Let's go and pop our book over here, have a quick discuss. So, yes, to do with this one. Now, okay, so you've got lots of homes where there appears to be a lot of, believe it or not, there's a fair few, isn't there? Okay, my delicious babies, where, it's like, could you switch the lights on, and all that crap. You know what I mean? Mad delicious babies. Me personally, I've said this for years and years now, okay? Because these have been out quite a while, okay? Mad delicious babies, especially if you ever was to watch programs like Grand Designs, and things like this now then, okay? Mad delicious babies. It just came into my noddle at it, okay? Mad delicious babies, okay? So, you probably found that the richer folk, as we'd say, Mad delicious babies, and probably architects and, and things like this now then, that they would probably, there we are, be into all of this crap, you know what I mean, Mad delicious babies. But, let's give another example that's just came into my noddle, like electric garages, do you know what I mean? So everything's electric, electrical fired or whatever it's called, okay? Um, well, the thing is, okay, this is also talking to do with Google. Okay, Mads Lichtlich Babies, it's also talking to do, there we are, with the cloud. Okay, Mads Lichtlich Babies, okay? So I class this, I'm trying to remember how many flipping minutes long it was now. Oh, I don't know. What was it? Was it? Oh, I can't remember now. Is it 9 minutes or is it, oh, it could be 17 minutes. Oh, anyway, it's not a long video, Mads Lichtlich Babies. All of the videos are not long today, Mads Lichtlich Babies, to take a look at, please and thank you, should anybody happen to have any form of interest. And on top of that, with the videos that I advertise, so when you click onto those videos, Mads Lichtlich Babies, if you know anybody who may have an interest in that particular video, if you could please pass it on. Do you see what I mean? Okay, because at the end of the day, the more knowledge there we are that ones have, they will not go out and make there we are what I regard as silly mistakes. I mean, if you, for example, want to have a light on, well, why don't somebody just get up off the backside, there we are, and just go and switch a light on and off? Okay, Mads Lichtlich Babies. Anyway, listening to this video, Mads Lichtlich Babies, it appears that there wasn't an awful lot that's very smart about these smarter things, Mads Lichtlich Babies. She said to me, and this is why I say, this is exactly, there we are, what I always say. And even if I talk to somebody, Mads Lichtlich Babies, I say, well, there's nothing smart about it. You know what I mean? It's like, giving it another example, these poxy flipping Apple Watches or whatever they are, okay? Where, you know, you're doing your 10,000 steps. Or what did they do before they had these poxy flipping square digital junk piece of shit crap? What did ones do then? They never relied on a watch, did they? Can you see the madness? There we are, Mads Lichtlich Babies. Can you see the flipping damn madness here? But of course, some mothers, there we are, do have them. You know, and you'd be so surprised, Mads. Well, I suppose you wouldn't be surprised, actually, Mads Lichtlich Babies. I'm not surprised anyway, okay? You can see them coming from a mile off, you know what I mean? Mads Lichtlich Babies, can. You know, one's out jogging or whatever, you know, you just know that they're just going to have this smartwatch. Do you know what I mean, Mads Lichtlich Babies? And of course, I just say it. I say, well, there's nothing smart about it, is there? Do you know what I mean? If you're going to call something smart, it usually, there we are, means the damn opposite, doesn't it, Mads Lichtlich Babies? But a very good little video, should anybody, there we are, happen to have, there we are, any form of an interest. You know what I mean? But of course, my videos, like now, to you, my little beautifuls, and thank you for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments, you know, but for my videos, they just do not get out, okay? Anyway, that's not to worry, there's always somebody seeing, there's always somebody hearing, but my point is that more and more need to understand, because I mean, and if you look at it, part of this, what's it called? You know, to do with all this and having everything electric, you know, and everything like this, and rightfully so, what was said in the video is that, you know, for somebody, you imagine Google, there we are, could just switch off your lights anytime. Well, come on. It's like when I, that's just came back into my noddle, I advertised about, was it a dishwasher or something? Anyway, but it's all connected. I remember this weeks and weeks ago where I advertised this particular video for one to take a listen to. And it's all running off something else, okay, Mads Lichtlich Babies. And I just do not trust or like any of these sort of things, Mads Lichtlich Babies, okay? I mean, give me an old-fashioned, you know, washing machine or whatever. I mean, I know that my dear dad, he bought me my washing machine, and it's you know, it's one of these little digital things, you know. Then the motor went, and then now she's back rocking and rolling, bless her, and bless my dear dad for getting me a washing machine. Anyway, but the point of the matter is this, my delicious little babies, I do not like all this digital, you know, it's like they keep creating things, right, to make ones very lazy. There we are, and that's what it is. And not only that, but I see anything like that as just being materialistic. Yeah, do you know what I mean? There we are, mad. Yes, mad Lichtlich Babies. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, it's like these. What do you call them? The flipping poxy Alexa. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Which, of course, that was been proven, wasn't it? Years ago, my delicious babies, to be listening to everybody's There We Are conversation. I mean, is that the same one where they could hear a man and woman having There We Are, what I call a rumble in the jungle, my delicious babies? Oh, yes. I'm pretty sure they heard all the moans and groans. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Did that old Alexa? Do you see what I'm saying, my delicious babies? I just basically feel that anybody who spars on ourselves, what kind of laugh have they got to want to, There We Are, to do this to ourselves? But I certainly wouldn't be one of these to rely on all of these blooming and remote control crap, and you know what I mean. I mean, you've had them for a long time, years, haven't you? That's something else that's just came into my noddle to do with curtains. You know, where they're flipping. I knew somebody actually. I'm going back some years ago now, and they had you know, to draw the curtains, and I remember saying. I said, I'm, you know, not being funny or anything. You know, I suppose when you say you're not being funny, you are being funny, aren't you? Anyway, I said, I'm not being funny. I said, but why couldn't you just get up? There we are. I said, just go and open and close curtains. I said, well, you know what I mean? They were just showing me how it worked. And I said, well, I wouldn't want anything like that at all now. You know, and of course, with the most of these things anyway, there we are, Martin babies, they misfunction anyway, don't they? You know what I mean? And then, of course, with the breakdown, you know, you cannot, with a lot of these, you know what I mean? They're just stuck in one place, aren't they, my little babies, you know what I mean? I just think it's all madness. But I definitely feel, there we are, it's all been designed, there we are, to make more and more damn well lazy. I'm not talking about everyone, my little babies, okay? Because for most who I know, for most who I know, actually, they wouldn't even, to be fair, dream of buying all these silly things and doing all these silly damn things. Do you understand what I mean? But of course, you know, again, it's like some mothers do have them. You know, and they seem to think, you usually find it actually ones, like I say, you know, who are more the wealthier type, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm hard to list babies. The way I see it is, you know, you could find better things to spend your flipping kaching on than electric here, electric there, electric effing everywhere. Do you know what I mean, Mads? Little babies. Do you know what I'm saying? Just need to get back. I keep saying this, turn to Mads, little babies, there we are. We just need to get back to basics and stop all this flipping bullshit. Do you know what I mean? Just, there we are, whatever the definition of is living the real world, but there we are. But just living the real world, man. Instead of this nutty flipping madness. But I mean, if they can just, you know, cut, you know, the electric on, cut everything off, there we are, Martinish babies, yeah, rightfully stumble. The fact of the matter is, that's not good at all. You know what I mean? That's like saying, okay, well, we can just put this on when we feel like it. We could just take it off when we feel like it. And not to mention when they don't want to invest anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, which was part of the problem to do this video, Martin Ishlik Babies, guys. So it would be really interesting for ones to please and thank you take a listen to. I mean, I've probably not explained it very well. I'm trying to explain things the way I see things from my point of view. Do you know what I mean, Martin Ishlik Babies? But I know what I'm talking about, okay? And I heard the video very well. I heard it very good. Do you understand what I mean, Martin Ishlik Babies? But I wouldn't do it. It's just absolute madness. Do you know what I mean? You want to switch your light on, switch it off. Flipping get off your backside and flipping go and switch your light on and off. And stop all this madness. Flipping remote control to flipping open and close curtains. Flipping madness, man. Get off your backside and open and close your own curtains. This is what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious babies, it's complete nuttiness. But you do have, like I've said before, I repeat again, some mothers, there we are, in the world, has them. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? So, you know, but until it all happens, you know, then there was that point on that video as well to do with you know, ones had spent this much on a what's that thing called? A thermostat. They were telling you the difference between, you know, these so-called new bloody technologies and you just a light switch that's so many dollars or something, you know what I mean, last you 20 year or whatever, you know, then you got the other. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of really good explaining there we are in this little video, Mards Little Babies, you know what I mean? Anyway, so that's the end of my video, okay, Mards Little Babies. But I just like to, like I said, I just like to mix it up as my light's gone off. They go off, don't they, Mards Little? No, they are on. They are on, but anyway, you probably just can't see them very well, but we'll just keep shining those lights, shining those lights, shining those lights. Came out to the baby sweater. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a sleepy dippy delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I love you also. And thank you once again so very much for listening. And please look after yourselves now then. And please try to look after others, you know what I mean? Because we are in a bonkers, crackers and crazy well. So until my next video, I hope that you do get some information out these videos that I've advertised today, my little babies, okay? You know, because it is very, there we are, very interesting. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so this is what I do sometimes. I just, you know, drop in other videos. Do you know what I mean? Mards Little Babies. And it's really good because when you're looking at one video, you're scrolling down, you may see something else that you're interested in listening to. Do you see what I mean? Okay, so there's always method, isn't there? Anyway, so until my next video, how I love you, sir. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.